Howdy peeps, hope you're doing well. It's been a little while since I've done a video. This one isn't necessarily, well, it might be slightly, depends where I'll take the video, right? But it's not going to be related to the stuff that I've spoken about regarding personality disorders and stuff that goes on. That being said, Duality Reality did leave a comment in my last video, just cutting down to the core basics of that those type of people having major insecurity issues and the ego taking over. That video in itself, that comment in itself probably deserves its own video, just based on the amount of stupidity and fuckery that what goes on in these relationships. One of the things that those of us in the manosphere often talk about in terms of relationships and expectations and what each person wants from a air quotes partner. And sometimes you come across people and you just think, or at least I just think, are you for real? Like you're going to be that blatant? So in terms of dating and stuff like that, you know, because I am on dating apps. Sometimes I think it's just for my own personal amusement. I don't know. I haven't quite decided. For me at least, I'm sort of thinking, well, if you're on a dating app, it could be for a couple of different reasons. You know, it could be maybe you're asocial. You don't like the idea of being quite so sociable. You don't really want to go out a great deal. The problem with that is oftentimes it becomes a textationship, right? You're just texting one another back and forth all the time, and it's not good. It's not good for any relationship, in my opinion, but whatever. And as always, I'll be using the very low-hanging fruit of single mums. But to put it in a perspective, so I come across this profile, and this is what it says from the get-go. Busy working mum of 3. This is how I see things, right? It says, this is my lens. This is. So you're busy, so you ain't got time for anyone else. Working mum of 3, all right. So you work, all right. Fair enough. Who's bringing your kids up? That's my first question. How busy are you? But you know there's going to be issues, right? You know there is. Independent and strong-willed. Well, if you're independent, why are you looking for a guy on a dating site? Do you know, it's like, well, we'll get to that later on. Love spending time with close friends and family. Alright, fair enough, well, who doesn't? Enjoy working out when I get the time, and cosy nights in on the sofa as well as a good night out. And in the back of my mind, I'm kind of thinking, you know, and I'll be honest, because I'm a bit of a fucker like this. How many baby daddies are there? You got 1, 2, or 3. You know, you got 3 kids. You know, because you got to bear this in mind. You know, looking at it from a realistic point, from a guy's perspective. If there's one baby daddy for all 3 kids, it might not be so bad. If there's 2, you could argue, well, there's the potential for problems there. If one of them takes a disliking to you for whatever reason, and I suppose it depends on their relationship with the ex as well. And if there's 3, well, them chances of you not getting along with one of them goes up a little bit more. And you know, in terms of a relationship, it's like, do you really want the headache of that? You know. Not necessarily having to be on your guard, but something that you would need to bear in mind. But, you know, let's just carry on with this one. Need a man, not a boy, and someone that realises that at this age and stage of life, most people come with baggage. You know, as soon as guys talk about things like that being baggage, whether it's children, psychological issues, you know, it's seen as bad when we're not supposed to say things like that about women, even if it is a thing, right? But they can sort of say it, and it'll be like water under the bridge. It doesn't matter as long as it's not a guy saying it. A lot of the time, some women generally don't give a shit, which is fine, I suppose. But I think a wasp in a can just went past, and I think it managed to fit wheels to it. So it's this last sentence here. Just want someone that fits into my life and is loving, funny, and honest. And just fits into your life. You know, it's like a commodity. You know, it's like, is that what you want? You want? It does my noodling sometimes. It really does. It's like, sometimes I think, is it just blatant? Like they're just blatantly saying, oh yeah, well, they just want the piece to their puzzle, and then even with that, it's like, well, what is it you actually want, and what are you willing to offer as a, as a compromise? So I had to think about that word then. What do you offer as a compromise, to any guy that's coming into that sort of a lifestyle where there's, 3 kids, she's always busy, she likes going to the gym, she likes spending time with family. It will come down to that hierarchy, whereas where on that ladder do you fall? Are you going to be below everything? You're going to come last? Like I said it before, if there's pets, you're probably going to be, they'll kick you out before they kick the dog out, as it were. Which you can kind of understand, right? But still, I mean, like, I don't think they take into consideration the amount of effort that it takes for guys when it comes down to dealing with single parent families. It's like, because if you're taking it seriously, there's the potential for moving in, right? I'm just sort of saying, might want you to move in. Or why might they want you to move in? Well, to help with finances. Maybe they want a babysitter while they go out partying and enjoying their nights out. Meanwhile, you get to stay at home. All right, you might just sit back and play PlayStation or Xbox or PC or whatever your hobbies are. Sure, you might be quite happy doing that. Meanwhile, she just wants someone that fits into her life. Not that she can really fit her life into anyone else's, because there's too much going on. But they don't look at that side of it. In my opinion, it's always like, it's what can you do for them, rather than, what each brings to the relationship. I'm talking from an experience of, having been in relationships with a few single mothers over the time. Generally speaking, it's always been the same thing. It's like, what can you do for me? And with that aside, if they decide that, if they're on a night out and they decide that they want to hook up with Chad or Tyrone, that's what's going to happen. And their sense of loyalty a lot of the time is not there. They have no, it's a selective sense of loyalty, and their loyalty goes a lot of the time only to their direct family, which would be their kids for starters, any pets, and then, or not in that order, but also their own sort of, their own clique, as it were. But they don't see how that might be a problem, later on in life, how it's going to affect, the choices that they make, how it's going to affect them later on down the line. And this is just something that I want to sort of bring up and talk about, because I think it's something that they really don't think about a great deal. It's like, they're asking for a lot, and when it comes down to that compromise, or what they bring to a relationship, it's not a lot, really. I don't think it is. I mean, in that scenario, you might find yourself part of the run-around crew doing a school run and all that sort of shit, which, look, if you want to live in that blue pill reality that, you know, everything's going to work out and da da da. Well, good for you. Eventually the red pill will come along when you get the sayings of, well, you're not my dad, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Even if, you know, you do put as much as you can into these relationships. You know, they're just, like she said, she's looking for someone that will just fit into her life. And I don't think that's it. I don't think she thought about the way she wrote that, but that's not really my problem. But anyway, just thought I'd talk about this one ever so quick. I might just see if there's another one I can use in as example, just to sort of wrap it up a little bit. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people don't make the effort on these. You know, they don't give any description as to what they want, what they're after, what they're like, or anything like that. You know. So, but you know, it's we've got another one. This one doesn't, you know, to be fair, right, there's one with kids, one without, right? Okay, fair enough. We'll go with this one. So this young lady, she's 32, so approaching the wall, has pets by the looks of it. Let's carry on. Right. I'm really loyal, fun and bubbly person. Incredibly independent and self-sufficient. So again, what are you looking for a man for? You know, this. Whereas at the same time, we don't want to hear someone that's like really needy, because that's off-putting as well. Talk about a double-edged sword, right? Ready to find the right person, settle down with no games or drama. I'm usually quite wary of people that say that, because that's usually what they bring. Games and drama. Again, this chick's 32, so 32, fair play to her in one aspect. She hasn't had kids, there's no baby daddy to worry about. She's not sure if she wants kids, you know, so it's difficult. Comes with house, 2 dogs, 25 horses, and a busy outdoorsy job. Well, the horses, for starters, right, you're talking relationships, right, again, personal experience. If you're dealing with someone that has horses, the horses will be a priority. They will. It's like any other animal. You got to go out to the fields. You got to do all the, you know, just sort of way of blatantly looking after them. Obviously, if they're not, that's even an even bigger red flag. Completely admit to being a terrible cook, but I have an HGV license and I'm a dab hand at DIY. Okay. I love getting dressed up, making an effort and being social, but if you're looking for a doll who looks pretty and lives with makeup and classy clothes, I'm really not your girl. Yeah, well, fair enough. I will mostly be found outdoors in breeches, shorts, boots, probably dirty and dusty, and likely trying to do 101 things at a time. The problem with that, from personal experience, is when you're trying to do 101 things at one time, nothing gets done. So you end up with half-finished projects left, right and centre. That could be a problem, you know. Again, finding the time to invest into someone else and you've got everything else going on in the background might not work out quite so well. Just saying. I really just want to find somebody who values me for who I am and enjoys the same in return. I like to think I have a dark but great sense of humour. Can be a big kid and enjoys banter, so no straight-faced square bears, please. Life is better full of laughter. I'm confident and outgoing and find similar qualities attractive in a man. I like to be challenged. So yeah, that's me. Message if you like what you read or see. But this is it. It still doesn't, you know, it doesn't take away that she's got 2 dogs and 25 horses, right? And a lot of people could be like, oh, well, you're just being critical because this, that and the other. It's like, no, I'm being realistic, you know. As someone that I've dated equestrian chicks before now, they're into the whole horse scene, whether it's dressage or the sort of parade sort of style of it, or just horse riding. I mean, in my opinion, there seems to be a bit of a different mentality to the average person anyway. A lot of the time, it's that privileged, entitled, but again, that's just based on a couple of experiences that I've had, so I can't really sit here and say, well, they're all like that. There's a bloody high chance that they are, I'm just saying. But yeah, these are all things that, you know, realistically, you know, as a guy, you have to take these things into consideration. You know, you're, as a result of their life hobbies choices, you know, you're going to probably come quite low on that hierarchy. You know, the horses are going to come first, the dogs are going to come before you, and that kind of is what it is. And this is a reality of dating in today's day and age. Is, you know, you have to really question whether the compromise or the sacrificing of your time and your hobbies and what you enjoy doing is really worth it in the long run. You know, you spend, say, 3.5 years with someone that's into horses. The majority of that 3.5 years that you were in a relationship with them, or are in, whatever the case may be, the majority of that time is going to be spent on the horses. You know, you got to be there early in the morning to feed them, you got to clean them out, you got to take them out, exercise them. If you're doing the shows and all that, you got to get them ready for all that. You know, so it does take time. And then there's the everyday life as well. You know, have you gone out and done your shopping? Have you gone and done this? And, you know, this is realistically what guys need to take into consideration when it comes down to dating. You know, is you can live in that blue pill fantasy if you want, but the reality is, you know, yeah. Anyway, look, I've rabbited on enough for now. If you guys have got any thoughts, comments or opinions, feel free to jot them down as always. Thank you for watching, much appreciated. Hope you've enjoyed the weekend. It's still the weekend, so until the next one, stay cool, stay free, peace out.